All right, welcome to Youth Perspective on Independent Television. I am Joy Obaisiagbon, and on today's episode, we will be looking at the economic situations that surrounds, that affect students. And I'm not here alone to talk about this issue. I'm here to talk about it with, very amiable guests.
All right, I'm Ishel Luba Osaiwa, the Director of Socials, Faculty of Law, University of Benin.
And you, Miss?
I'm Esabu Success. I'm a 400 level student, University of Benin, Faculty of Law, and I'm Miss Lausanne, Nigeria, and also the face of Lausanne.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Welcome, viewers. My name is Great Osel Konewa. I'm the National Vice President, External Affairs of Lausanne, that's Law Students Association of Nigeria, and I'm the 400 level student of University of Benin as well.
On Youth Perspective, we get to talk about, social issues surrounding youth, and then you get to hear from, youth. We talk about it, we want to dissect it and see how we can be able to, provide solutions. Sometimes the leaders, they listen to us, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so talking about economic situations, affecting students, Nigerian students, how would you describe Nigeria's current situation right now? Great.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. The Nigerian economic climate at the moment is a very dicey one, and at the same time is at a dangerous stage, because we are students and we interact with students all the time, and we know what these students go through. We know what we go through. We are part of the system. The cost of living has become something that is almost unbearable, to the extent that some students, you just hear about a student fainting all of a sudden in class, and even outside class. The other day I went out at a grocery to buy something in the evening, and as I got to the supermarket, a student was coming out. That was during exams. The student was coming out, I was going in. All of a sudden, the guy just collapsed. I had to hold him, put it down gently, and discovered that he had fainted. And what was the cause of it? He had not eaten. So many students are like that. They go to bed without food. They go to class without food. And they are expected to read and study hard. And you know that when you study, the brain uses more energy than someone who is dancing. Someone who is studying, who is reading, consumes more energy than the person who is dancing. All right. So the student shouldn't ever go to bed without food. The student shouldn't go to class without eating. But this is the situation we find ourselves. Why? Because even the parents at home cannot even meet their basic needs at home.
Yeah.
And most of the students in school, they also have siblings. Some of them do come to me and say, even my parents, they can't even help themselves. So there's no way, there's nothing else we can do. So some of us, because of that, some of us within our own system, our little way, we try to assist each other from the little we've got. That is why from 100 level in Uniben, I instituted something I call exam palliatives in my individual capacity, trying to
economic situation, we're talking about finances. Most students, they go through a lot of financial stress. Yes. That, in turn, it affects their education and probably their mental health. So linking it to, the female perspective, can you talk to us, Success?
Yeah. So a lot of females are now subject to sexual abuse because they have to meet up. Most times, some of them even have to fend for themselves in school. Talk more of the ones that even have parents, and what they send is not enough. Of course, it's not their parents' fault. It's what they have and what the economy is. And they have to, the persistent rise in school fees across the country, and then you have to buy textbooks. So females have become objects of sexual abuse and rape. I have a friend that she needed support, and then she reached out to a male individual, and he promised to help her on the grounds that she has to have sex with him. And at some point, she even got abused in the process. So all these things, all these nuances in the society can actually be curbed if we have a more favorable economic environment?
Okay, that's on the effect. It does affect students a lot. So let's look at the brighter side. How do you think that we can be able to, tackle these situations? Because these are students, and like you said, most of the time, what parents give to students, most of the time, are not enough, especially students that comes from, middle class families. So they find it very difficult to be able to go through the whole semester, with whatever they brought from home. So how do you think students can be able to see themselves through, those times in school? Ishe Oluwa.
Yeah. So, in the society we live in, I'll be speaking in two capacities here. One as a student and secondly as a law student. As a student, a lot of students are encouraged to work, find a little something to do to ease the burden on their parents, so to speak. But then again, you need to consider that being a law student is not just being a student. I mean, it takes a whole lot of toll on your mental health, if you find that I put it like that. So a lot of people, I feel like people who feel economic stress more are people who are in school and are studying professional courses such as law, medicine. They don't really have that time, to be running around doing some other things to support financially. However, I personally am an example of an exception to that rule. Studying law, I'm doing one of the things that doesn't go with law, and that's entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been a DJ for about 7 years now, and I've been able to blend it in.
So you're saying that, studying, to be able to manage it, you have to also, look for a side hustle, like, that
So to
popular
speak, yes,
term.
a side hustle.
Yeah, to be able to manage the financial burden and stress.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, looking at it from our parents' perspective, let's not just totally rule out our parents, because at the end of the day, the glory goes back to the family. So what would you say to, family members, parents, in terms of providing solutions to economic situation that affects students? Great.
Yeah, for parents, I understand that the economic situation is also affecting many homes in Nigeria. We understand that. But then, parents should understand that they have children in school. They should always try their best, not only to just pay school fees or send them money. They should also, if a child has demonstrated some skills, there are some students who can trade. They can do mini businesses while in school. So the parents can support them by giving them something to start small businesses. They could do that and without being distracted from study. But like my colleague said, law is a professional course. It's not a kind of course that you can afford to miss classes. You understand? You can afford to really miss classes. But then there can be some businesses you can do, little businesses. Some people bring some things to the class to sell.
Okay.
If you can do that, or online businesses as well. So if parents have set their children up to do some little businesses, I think it will be. I'm talking about parents. If I must extend it, if I'm permitted to extend it, governments, professional bodies, NGOs, we can see them as parents in this context. They should know that the people in school, they are also their children. These are children of the society. These are leaders of tomorrow. So if they can come in to say, okay, let's see how we can help. Let's pick out some students who have business ideas, and let's see how we can set them up. I remember in 2024. All
right. It is really, really okay for our viewers out there to engage in what we've described as side hustle, even though you are a student, so that you can be able to manage some kind of economic stress that may arise during the course of your study. We'll take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll look deep into this matter. Stay with us. Alright, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Youth Perspective on Independent Television. I still remain your host, Joy Obaisiagbon, and I have should I say lawyers already, because you guys are already,
Lawyers
you
in
know,
equity.
lawyers in the making, or rather in equity. All right, and actually we're talking about economic situations that affect Nigerian students, and right now we're going to be talking about you know, when you talk about Lawson. So can you tell us more about Lawson, Ishe Oluwa?
All right. LAWSAN, which stands for Law Students Association of Nigeria, is an umbrella body, and it's also a division of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, that caters directly to law students in Nigeria. Now, the way we are structured is we have chapter levels, zonal levels, and then the national level. So we have a branch of LAWSAN manifesting as LAWSA in each university, UNIBEN, AAU, and so on and so forth. So this is the student umbrella body that is responsible for, you know, catering to things that maybe lecturers can't, you know, parents can't, communication, association. Law is a very competitive profession, and you need to know people. So what better place to build that network than from school? And LAWSAN is one of those mediums which we can do that. It's basically like every other social.
So this is actually at internet age. So you know, regardless of how much information we have out there, you know, there's still a possibility that there are still a lot of students that are still finding it very, very difficult to access a lot of information when it comes to studying. You know, tell us about it. You know, can you provide solutions on that? Great.
Yes, like you said, this is an internet age. I think that on this area, we are not doing so well when it comes to access to modern legal information. I will talk about legal because that's my primary constituency. For example, most of the cases we study in our classrooms are cases of 1879, 1603, 1901. So these are cases of Lord Denning that have long gone, generations past and all that. But most of the modern cases are not at the disposal of the laws of an average law student. And if you must even go there to say you go to internet to search for these cases, you must have to pay, you know, subscribe to some apps to be able to access some of this information. So my own take would be that the legal system in Nigeria should be improved in such a way that the legal education should be made easier for legal students or law students. The access to information, modern cases decided 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you know, students, we should be up to date. We should be correct with what's going on, not quoting things of, you know, 100 years ago, 90 years ago, whereas some of those principles may have changed.
Yeah.
You understand? So Nigeria is a conservative society. We still dwell on the past a lot, and most of these things, most of these laws, statutes that we are still studying today, they have been discarded by the British that even brought them to Nigeria, but we are still holding on to them. We don't even have access to the modern one. We don't know what's going on right now. All right, so I think we should move ahead of time and not be behind time.
Okay, very quickly, Success, you talked about, you know, some of the things that female students face while studying, or rather while in school. So being a law student and you're female, you know, can you tell us about some of, you know, probably stress, or, you know, just talk to us about stereotype when it comes to the law profession?
So I would say if it were back in the days, the stereotype was more. But I feel like now they are giving more leverage to females to do more. But there's still this sort of mindset in people that a woman's capacity is still based on her gender. So there's this gender-based kind of mindset that, oh, a woman is, okay, imagine this situation where someone, like political representation in Lausanne, someone told me that they can't really trust females with political positions because they have down days, like there are days where they have to see their monthly cycle, and so their hormones are running up and down. Like, can you trust somebody like that with And I'm like, how did someone's reproductive cycle affect the person's capacity and performance to perform in a political capacity or in an official capacity? So there's still this, oh, she's a woman. Even in representation in court, they feel like, oh, the men are, so till now, the males are still more in the legal profession. But thank God for knowledge and the internet. So we are advancing every day, and females are showing their worth. They are coming out, they are speaking out, they are showing that, okay, this is what they can do, and they are owning their abilities.
So you're saying that regardless of the stereotype,
yes,
aspiring law students should still push further, and just dream and pursue your dreams.
Yes, it's about what you can do.
Yeah. So Ishalua, you have contributions to that.
Well, yeah, actually, in a predominantly male society, it's not really easy for females to carve out their own niche. But in recent times, it's something that has been happening more and more. And speaking as the director of socials, concerned primarily with the social strata, I see instances where females shy away because they'll be like, oh, we don't want to face this whole backlash of the male coming at us. But progressively, we've left that. I can say from when I was in 100 level till now, I've seen females move mountains. I think there was a moniker for a group of females in my faculty at the time called the Storm Breakers. And trust me, they actually broke storms.
So that's an enlightened note there. And with that, we're just going to share our last words with our viewers. We can't leave this stage without sharing our last words with you, so that you can be able to live with that until the next episode. So great, talk to us. Final words before we leave.
I would just say to our viewers out there, especially the government, people in government, people in places of authority, so please remember the students in school. Students in Nigerian schools are not finding it easy at this time. Do not abandon the students. Some of you buy things, buy toys for your kids, running into millions of naira and all that. You can please, you won't split it to two and give to the students. Students will appreciate it. Students are going through a lot. It's affecting their mental health. It's affecting. Before somebody starts running mad on campus, please come to the aid of the students. It's not easy with us in school.
And with that, we'll come to a close on today's episode on Youth Perspective. Until we'll see you again next week, same time, same channel. Bye for now.